Hello, Glenda.
Good morning, Denny.
Good. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, doing better every day. Yeah.
Good.
Looking forward to your what we have to talk about today. Yeah.
How's Kevin?
He's doing good. Yeah, he has to work today, but he's going to try to get in, you know. Yeah. So he'll be there maybe a little late or whatever. Yeah.
Good.
How was your trip?
Trip was amazing in Europe. We were in France and went to Normandy and Paris,
That's beautiful.
and we were hanging around John Maxwell. He had a small group of people that went, and so it was amazing.
How's the real estate out there?
How's the real estate?
Yeah. That's kind of far away, but they have real estate too, which is interesting.
I don't know how the market's doing there.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you'd check it out.
Let's see. We're a little bit early, yeah. So I just want to make sure we're up and running. Yeah, it's good to be back. I've missed the role play.
I know, we missed you too. Oh, yeah.
There's the beautiful Sunny Hammermeister.
Good morning, Sunny. Hi.
Hi, Linda.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm alive,
that's good.
excited, and full of energy.
Yeah. Hey, ready to go. Okay.
So you're co-host, Sunny? Because
Yeah, you need to make me host.
I need to be host. Well, co-host. Do you want to be host?
The only reason I need it is to put it on Facebook. And I have to send out the invitation to a couple of people that asked for it. So I'm gonna come off camera really quick and figure out how to do this. So bear with me. I just had some people text me and ask me for the link. Hang on one sec.
Okay. It's funny, you're chewing gum. Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Marky told me the same thing one time. She's like, stop chomping that gum. All right, I think I sent it out.
Just stick it under the table.
Okay. How's the weather where you guys are?
105.
Woo! It's about 105 here too.
Seems like forever since I've been there. I know we had a little bit of a loud low crowd yesterday or last week because of the 4th of July weekend. What's up, Keith? And who is Glenda? Is that John? There's Sherry. No, Glenda. I know Glenda. Yes. Okay. It's Sherry is the one I'm thinking of. What's up, Keith? There's John. Sherry, you're coming up as Sherry, John.
that better?
That's better. The voice is back. How you doing, John? Welcome back.
Doing great. Let me go ahead and I just clicked the generic link. That's why. Excuse me. We'll change this to the right name here. All
Do you want to
right.
make me host real quick and I can put it on Facebook, or do you not want to put it on Facebook today?
You can put it on Facebook. Just leave me co-host because I have to share. So can you make yourself host or do you need me?
Let me see.
So Denny, it's kind of funny missing you by about 10 hours out there.
Yes, yes.
I think you're gonna have to make me host. Sorry.
All right, let's see then. Let's see if you can make me co-host. Actually, it's probably better that that's okay. Let's see if you can get it going and then make me host again so I can share a screen. So, Keith, appreciate you being on camera.
Not a problem.
And where are you again?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, you know, I'm coming up that way. I'm going to be doing a coaching bowl in Appleton in August.
Okay.
And there'll be some people from Milwaukee probably coming up for that. So I've never been up in that neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Appleton as well. It's kind of far from Milwaukee, but Wisconsin's Wisconsin.
Some of my flights are going to be out of Milwaukee, I think, which is, I guess, about 90 miles or 100 miles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you
Yeah.
starting to see any change in your market there?
Absolutely. Yeah, the days on market is definitely extending out. I actually started seeing my first initial trigger for it was the addition of home warranties back in the listings. I saw that almost last summer. At the end of the summer, it started the listings that we were looking at started having that home warranty in it, and then it just kind of snowballed after that.
We had, while we're getting ready to start, Sonny, if you'll just make me co-host or whatever you need to do so I can share a screen. It's good to have the gang back. So we've got John McLeod back from Europe. So John, welcome. Why don't you get us started with your awesome voice? Welcome everybody. And if you can be on camera, that's going to be great because I am fired up and ready to go. I've been chomping at the bits for the last 2 weeks. I mean, I have been bored out of my mind in Paris and going to Versailles and going to Normandy and then Monaco, driving a Lamborghini on the.
It sounds really
Monaco.
boring, Denny. Let me tell you,
I would rather be with you guys working on mastery level scripts and role play. So
there is absolutely zero feeling of sufferance here from us regarding your trip. We really don't believe that it was that much of a struggle for you to be driving a Lamborghini around Monaco.
yeah, well, here we go. Welcome
Guys,
everybody.
don't forget, if you clicked on the link, you may come in as Sherry. And right now we have a whole bunch of Sherrys in here. So let's don't forget to change your name to actually who you are. Otherwise, you'll be referred to as Sherry for the entire day.
And that, I don't know if that's a real Jeff Jones that signed in. He's probably making sure that we're doing everything right and legal and everything. So
It is the real Jeff Jones.
Sonny, I need to be host.
I made you host.
You did. Okay, so welcome everybody. Denny Grimes, the master of real estate. We got John McLeod, my co-host, and also the co-host, Sonny Hammermeister. I've got I see a lot of familiar faces out there. So now you can actually put it in the chat if you'd like to what's going on. If you think the market is seller, buyer, or maybe starting to, is it seller still, or is it starting to shift? I'd like to know what you're seeing because I watch it constantly, and something happened that I'm not really proud to admit, but I did want to admit this. Obviously we had a good year last year. Everybody had an awesome year. And then something happened in the last 7 days and from our team standpoint that I had probably don't remember ever seeing. And we have an award at our huddle every week. We call it the money chain. And for the last 7 days, it's the first time that I can remember. And Sonny, you've been with me a couple of years. I don't think you can remember it either. We had 0 pendings in the last 7 days. And so I think that is.
No, we got some. We're not doing it. We're not putting it out there. We got some today.
All right, well, good. However, it's fewer than we had before. So what we're going to be talking about today, I sent out in advancement. There's a couple things I'm hearing, and if I can figure out how to share the screen. Oh, you said more sellers want to sell. Okay, so here we go. I haven't done this in a while. I happen to be in Scottsdale at our home here, my wife's home actually here, and let's just get this up and running. Slideshow. Give me a second. All right, can you guys see that? There we are, mastery level role play. That's how you reach me. Denny delivers a training at gmail.com. And we're going to be practicing our typical question-based listening enhanced conversations. A couple of things that I want to get to, John, that I published. I had them send out an email. You might have seen it. A couple objections we've had in our team role play, and I've heard from other agents. And I thought I'd get to that first, if that's okay. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, I have Denny Grimes and Mastery of Real Estate. Working on getting up to 500 subscribers. We're about 440 now. So if you haven't subscribed, we've got almost 100 different videos there that you can go back and look, watch and practice your asking questions and your role play.
And Denny, if I remember right, there was a prize for the 500th member, right?
Yes, you're going to be getting 2 tickets to Greece. Perfect. 2 tickets to Greece, as you guys know, is my favorite movie. So here is my thought of the day, you guys, is going to be, and again, if you have not seen this, it's time to paint up. We're going from what's it say right there? A speed market to a skill market. So again, I trust agents that if you're relatively new and you've been in real estate for maybe 3 or 4 years, you've not had to go into this type of market before. It is definitely going to be a skill market. And I'm going to give you a couple of different examples of some of the objections you might be hearing from different people out there right now, buyers and sellers. So with that in mind, as we know that Gary Keller says there's no doubt a shift is happening. So here's what I want to get to right away, John. So I don't know if you see anybody on there that's ready to rock and roll, but got some of our regulars. I see Denise. I don't know if Brian's on there. I don't know if we have Whitney or any of the others. So here are the objections I wanted us to tackle. You might be hearing a couple of the objections. So as what we like to do is repeat the model before you start. So if you can, Sonny, maybe you can chat this and put this into the chat, or John, acknowledge, isolate, address, and close. We want to follow that model, which is, again, the formula that we follow, that we make sure that we acknowledge it, we isolate it, meaning other than that, we address, and then we close. So I'll get to that slide later. Here's the first one. So I don't know if you have any volunteers. I need an agent and maybe, let's go back. I'm sorry. I need an agent and maybe a seller. I missed the top of the market, so it's too late to sell now. This is a potential seller you're meeting with, and that's their objection. John, who's ready to play ball and using our formula?
Well, Denise is all happy and bouncing up and down over there. She is all over this. Now, Denise, we'll give you the option of being the seller or the agent. You need to unmute yourself or I'll automatically pick for you.
I'll be the agent.
Oh, awesome. I love it. Stepping right up, right out of the gate. Keith, are you ready to be the hard seller who's concerned they missed the top of the market, so they're not going to sell?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. All right. Take it away.
So you guys have the objection. I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment. You all know what the objection is. So go.
So Keith, other than, so I understand you feel you missed the top of the market.
Yeah, I think it's way past. So it's probably too late to sell now, at least to get top dollar.
Okay. So other than you're worried that you're not going to get top dollar, are there any other reasons why you wouldn't want to sell now?
Am I being stubborn, or do we just roll with the one?
Well, can we learn if you're a marshmallow? Can we learn?
we can learn.
Well,
So-
no, we can't. I mean, we don't have marshmallows where I live. So you need to be rational and maybe on a scale of 7 or 8 out of 10. Don't be Freddy Krueger.
Okay, got it. No, that would really be the only thing, but it's a major concern. I watched what the market was doing last year, and then now I'm watching what's happening now, and it's people are bringing down their prices instead of them going up.
Okay, I get it. And can you remind me, where are you moving to?
I'm moving to Atlanta.
Okay, and what's bringing you to Atlanta?
My job.
Job. Okay, when do you have to be there?
So I have 6 months to make the move and to solidify everything, but there's wiggle room there. If I need an extension, I can get it. So there's not a real rush either.
Got it. So given that, you're worried about the market and that you've lost the absolute top of it, where do you think the market will be in 6 months from now? Where do you think the market will be then?
Well, I think it'll bottom out. It would just keep going down until there's more buyers than there are sellers.
Okay. So do you think you'll make more money now or later or waiting?
So you got me there. I think now would be the time to make more money. I rationally can't argue with that.
Okay, so let's get the paperwork done and I'll get it on the market and get it sold for you.
Sounds great.
So I don't know if you've ever been to a wrestling match where you think that basically one person's winning and all of a sudden, and I'm not a wrestler, they pull a reverse and all of a sudden the other person's in charge. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened there, I think, John, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's interesting. There's a couple questions that I was waiting to hear, and they didn't really come out. And it was like you said, it was a complete reversal. It was almost like the Karate Kid, So, Denise, let me ask you this: how do you think you did? Yes, you got him to sign. So, ooh, bonus. What do you think you did well? What do you feel you did well?
Just got him thinking about, when is he going to get top dollar? Is it now or later?
Okay. So is there any information that you would have liked to have had that you didn't get?
Me or her?
Denise. Let's stay with Denise for a second here.
Maybe what did he feel top dollar was?
Great question. Keith, what does top dollar look like to you? Because guess what? It's relative. All right. It's a number that actually means nothing until you know what it is. Our view of top dollar
All different.
is going to be different than his view of top dollar. He might think that his $500,000 house is top dollar at 400, or he might think his $500,000 house is worth $1.2 million. So what does top dollar look like? First thing. Second, what else would you like to know about somebody specifically relocating from one area of the country to the other?
Where they're moving to, or
Well, you're going to Atlanta, right?
right?
Keith, do you have to sell your house in order to move?
Yeah.
That's going to open up two very different directions. If the answer is yes, he has to sell, you're going to go down one road. If the answer is no, he can rent it out. Awesome. Now you can go down the pain of, do you want to be a landlord from 1,400 miles away?
Right.
So getting deeper into the motivation and the reason for putting the house up on the market in the first place. Denise, one question you could ask.
Hang on, John. Hang on. Don't give it
Sorry.
away. We're gonna do it again.
All right.
We're gonna do it again.
Thanks for reading me in,
so-
Denny. It's been a month. I'm all excited to be back. Can you tell?
I know exactly what you mean. So, first of all, for people listening, Denise did follow the model. She acknowledged it. She isolated it. That was the only thing. And then again, we're starting cold. She did something else really well too, that I want you always to remember. She went to motivation. What's making the move? Now, again, and again, we didn't spend a lot of time there, though. What's interesting about this whole scenario is if you ask great questions and their position is irrational, they're going to get to a point. If you ask the right question, their brain's going to kick in and say, wait a minute, if the market's going down, then if I wait to sell, it's going to sell for less than it
Way
does
less.
now. Your brain, you were trying to be rational. However, that question kind of checkmated you. So that's the power. Nice job, Denise. That's the power of having great questions. So John, let's get another agent, and I'm going to be the seller, and I'm not going to get tripped up. So give me another agent. And the objection is, hey, I missed the top of the market, so it's too late to sell now. That's the objection. We're not on the phone. We're on an appointment. Give me an
Denny,
agent.
you know who's knocking on your door on this one?
I don't know who's knocking.
Don Aldridge.
Okay, well, Don has been the co-host. Don, thank you so much. And there's a movement, kind of an impeachment process going on that they want you now to lead this forever. And so maybe we could be your co-host one day. Are you ready, Don?
Yes, I'm ready, but I'm not ready to take over. I will be happy to be a co-pilot or the navigator on any flight, but I'm not flying the plane. No,
So
sir.
if you think this is going to, you can put in the chat if you think this is a realistic conversation or objection from a seller. Hey, listen, Don, I've missed the top of the market, so it's too late to sell now. The model is acknowledge, isolate, answer, close, go.
Okay, thank you, Denny. I appreciate that. Other than missing the market, is there any other reason that you would prevent you from putting your home on the market today?
No, my timing's, I just screwed up. I could have gotten more for it 3 months ago.
Yeah, okay. So I guess my question is, why do you think you've missed the market?
Well, I mean, you guys have been preaching the market shift, and I'm seeing more for sale signs. I'm seeing sellers reduce their price. And don't you agree? What I could get today is less than what I could have gotten 3 or 4 months ago. Do you not agree with that?
You could be right. You absolutely could be right. What happens if we're both wrong, though?
I don't know. I'm going to stop there. That question confuses me. I'm making a statement and you're not making a statement. So I don't know what you could be wrong at because I don't know what your position is.
Okay. All right.
Ask it
So
again.
Let's rewind the tape. Go ahead. Say that again.
Well, I mean, can I not get less? Then I can't. Okay. I know where you're coming from now. So can it not sell for less now?
It may sell for less. How do we know there's a buyer that's not out there that's willing to pay you what the top of the market might be?
Are you saying you can get me what I could have gotten 4 months ago?
I don't know. I'll say this. If we stay on the sidelines, I guarantee you that we won't. What's the top of the market to you, Denny? I'm just curious.
Well, there's a house around the corner that sold for 800. And
Right.
again, mine's very similar to that. And now I see one that's kind of like ours because we're in the subdivision. It's the Oakwood model. And now they're asking $750 for it. So I left $50,000 on the table.
I'm sorry. Did you say that they got 750 or they're asking 750?
No, I mean, my neighbor 4 months ago got 800. Now the same model's on the market for 750.
Right. Exactly.
So I screwed up.
Well, welcome to the club. So if you could still get 750 for this market, would you sell it?
No,
So
because I could have got 800 4 months ago.
you could have. That's right. So are you not willing to sell it at today's prices?
It's 750 now.
Yeah.
Why would I buy? I've lost money.
You may have. You may have.
I
So
see
it's-
you're walking in a room with no light on, Don.
I know it. So what
Read it.
makes you want to move, Denny?
All right. So now you're reading Denise's, you didn't read it, but that's what now you guys, that's the logical thing. You've got to go to motivation at some point in time. So, well, hey, I mean, we don't spend as much time here. And so we don't really need this place. We're probably going to sell it and buy a condo.
Okay, selling a condo here locally.
No, I'm going to sell this one and buy a condo because we don't need this big house anymore.
Got it. So do you have to sell this one in order to buy that condo?
No, but I don't want to own two homes.
Okay, all right. So you don't want to own the two homes.
Where you going, Don?
Well, the motivation, I'm trying to tackle into that motivation. So do you have a particular condo that you want to buy?
You can go down that road. It would be, okay, so I would say you
All right,
could go down the road, and here's my point, you guys. If we only have so much time to maintain their attention, be careful you don't go down secondary roads. Stay on the main road.
Right. So we're staying on that main road. I just had a thought and I lost it with that conversation. So at 750, Denny, is that not enough to make you move?
It's not, it's what I lost. Okay.
Okay.
I could have sold it for 800. I wanted to do it. My wife, she wouldn't listen to me. Now I'm just like, I'm left 50 grand on the table. And so I'm going to stop right now. Are there going to be sellers out there, do you think, in this marketplace, when they know they can't get what they once could have gotten, are going to be less interested in selling? Is that true? Yes or no? Do you think it's true out
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe it is true. And is that emotional or logical?
It's emotional because logically waiting is just going to get worse.
Well, okay. So now, that might be a path you want to go down, Don.
Would you go down the road of, Denny, what happens if the market continues to go down and it's 700,000 6 months from now? Would you go down that road?
You could. Let me just put a bow on this. We'll go to the next one because I've got 4 here I'd like to be able to handle. Here's one of the ways I would go down. So just reverse it with me, Don. So Don, let me ask you, how long have you owned your home?
We've owned it about 8 years.
Okay. And so do you remember what you paid for it 8 years ago?
Yeah, we paid $375.
And based on what you said you basically, I mean, your neighbor's at 750 and you could have got 800 for it maybe 3 or 4 months ago. So let's just say 750. I'm a little bit confused. You had 375 invested. It's now you can sell it for 750. How is that losing?
I could have got 50 grand more 4 months ago. That's a $50,000 loss in 3 months, Denny. That hurts.
Okay. I totally understand that. There's the acknowledgement. Don't argue with them on that. So let me ask you that do you have any idea what your home was worth? You paid 375 for it and 800 4 months ago. Do you have any idea what you could have got for the house maybe 2 years ago? Now I'm going to stop for a moment. That's probably not a great question because most people don't know. There's a reason I'm asking it. And you can answer the question. In fact, I'm going to retract the question because it's there. I want to give you the best questions. That's not one of the best questions. So let me just reverse it. Let me just reverse the strategies here. So you see the market is eroding out from under you, correct?
Yeah, it's moving away.
So what do you think is happening to the condo you want to buy?
Well, gosh, I don't know. I guess probably that's probably going down in price as well.
And so basically it would be kind of like if it, okay. So again, I'm a little bit rusty. I haven't done this in a couple of weeks. I'm attempting to draw a parallel. So could it be basically that whatever you might be losing here on your house, quote, losing, you're making up on the other end? Would that be a possibility?
Yeah. Yes, I can't argue that.
Okay, another tactic, and I'll put a bow in it here. I know what John's thinking. John's thinking on the, if you're buying up, buying down, the percentage, blah, blah, blah. His mind is going crazy with percentages. I don't think in that those types of numbers. Let me ask you one more time. Okay, so would it be fair to say that you, for the last year, in fact, this is why I asked the question. I said it wasn't a great question. In the last year, your home, or last 2 years, your home has gone up about 50%.
Right.
So that means you made a lot of money in the last 2 years.
That's true.
So if it's worth less every day, then, and I know that you may have missed the top of the market, at what point would you feel comfortable of selling it again? At what point would you feel comfortable selling it if you're now at 750 instead of 800?
Well, if the market's going down, I'm definitely not going to sell it at 7.25 or 700. Then I've really missed the market.
Well, okay. So then what would you do if the market, if you waited 6 months and now you could get 700, what would you do?
Probably get divorced. My wife would already make the move.
My question is, would you have the conversation with me 6 months from now saying, by golly, I could have gotten 750 and now I can only get 7. My question is, how will you feel if that is the case?
Not good. Not good. I'm going to say, Denny, why didn't you challenge me back then? Why didn't you put it on the line?
So I'll stop with that, and you guys can give me your thoughts or feedback. And I think Don said it right. What I'm attempting to do is challenge his thinking. 800 may never come back again. When you have sellers out there thinking, okay, I could have gotten this. Listen, you should have seen my hair when I was 18. I ain't getting that back. I could want it all I want. I'm not getting that. I would look good in it too with my mullet. Mullet's coming back. So it does not matter what they could have done. You've got to help. You got to challenge them in their thinking, is that day may be gone. Take them to pain in 6 months from now, because I can promise you this. They will be kicking themselves. They didn't sell it at 750 instead of 700. So I'll stop on that. Any comments from anybody on the call, in the chat, or whatever, John, that you can see that we can put a bow on this and go on to number 2?
Nothing at this point. Then I do. Wait, Mark, you got something? Go for it.
Sorry about that. I was just saying it's really all hypothetical, because it's just like, it's just like being in the stock market, right? You see these losses, but you don't realize them unless you sell low. So who's to know if you can't maybe get that expectation of the market when it was 2 months ago? You don't know until you try. Let's put the house on the market for what you think that top dollar was 2 months ago. Let's just see. There could be someone looking for your exact house. They want to be in this neighborhood. They want the house. They want the upgrades, and they're willing to pay for it. And they know that they might be able to get something a little bit lower in another neighborhood or different model, but maybe this is what they've been waiting for. Maybe this is what they're looking for. Let's give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we'll readdress it.
Denny, that's the analogy I was going to go with. Denny, have you ever bought and sold stocks before?
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you ever sold a stock that wasn't at its all-time peak?
Yes.
Why?
My broker said to sell it.
Okay, because it was the right thing to do.
I don't know. I don't do stocks a lot, but I guess my broker said to do it, so I did it.
Awesome. I can appreciate that. And what's your wife say about this? Let's pretend she's your broker.
Now I'm getting confused. Are we in the broker situation or my wife's situation?
Well, listen, this is getting both business and personal, because you got a business decision to make and have to live with the personal. So,
well, I'm going to go. Who was that Mark that was saying that a minute ago?
Yes, exactly.
I thought Don was going to take that tack, you guys. I thought he was going to go ahead and take the listing. Remember, when the market was going up, I would never walk away from a listing. And I'm not suggesting that's not a bad tactic. That what Mark is saying, and I think Don started to go down that road. The challenge is going to be, in the market we were in 4 months ago, you could take an overpriced listing and the market might catch it, or the seller capitulate. In a falling market, there's no chance the market's going to catch it. So you've got to be really careful how you paint that picture, Mark, that you don't set an unrealistic expectation. So and so I don't disagree with what you just said there. Is like you might, you know what, it might happen, and then you're going to go into the three outcomes which we talk about all the time. So
Danny,
if
we
it's
do
okay,
have one
let me
more
go
question.
to. I'm sorry.
We do have one more question before we go on to the next topic.
Okay,
Captain
go.
Guidi's got a question.
Yep.
I was just gonna say what Denny just said, wouldn't you just list it at where it is in the three outcomes? That's exactly what I was gonna mention, is just take it for what it is in the three outcomes and just put right in the listing agreement when you would make that change.
Yeah, here are the, I'm sharing the screen right now. If you're new and you don't know this, you can put your email, you can send me an email at DennyDeliversTraining@gmail.com, and we'll send you this. And this is, you can print it off. It's in a PDF. These are the three outcomes. So if you've got a seller out there that, this is going to tie in, by the way, to the next objection for a seller, because there's going to be some sellers out there who are not buying into the fact that the market's changing. And so you can get ready, John, and the objection is going to be, let me go back a couple here. Seller, that was the one. Here's the other one. I still think there's a buyer out there to pay my price, so I'm not going to lower my price. I'm not going to lower it. You know what? I know you've had it on the market for 60 days. There's going to be a buyer out there that's going to pay my price. So no, I'm not going to lower my price. So we're going to have to start servicing listings now. I should say that different. Servicing sellers. The listings don't need our servicing. So who wants to handle this one? This is the stubborn seller in a falling market one.
Let's see. I can get the dartboard out. And okay, you just shuffle the screen on
Whitney
me.
looks ready.
I think Whitney looks ready, and I think Gio looks ready because she's got a pen to a piece of paper over there.
I think I've already bombed this one. My tactic is not amazing.
That's okay. That's all right. So Gio, do you want to be the seller or do you want to be the agent, Gio?
I'll be the seller. I mean, the
Awesome.
agent.
You're the agent. Okay, Whit, you got it easy. There is somebody out there somewhere, sounds like a song from American Tail, that's willing to pay your price.
Yeah, I just think I can get 900,000 for my house, and I think we should list it at that.
It's
There's gotta
already
be
on the
someone.
market. On the market, 60 days. It's not sold. It's 900. You got it on the market.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Hey, Brittany, right? No,
Whitney.
Whitney.
Whitney. Okay.
You call her Brittany.
No, you can't.
Whitney. Whitney, I can appreciate that, Whitney. And, as you know, we've been having this conversation every week in regards to the activity in the market. So you already know about the outcomes. You already know that there is not enough showings, and from the showings we have, and we're not having offers, correct?
Yes.
Right. So what do you think is going to happen to your property if it stays another 60 days in the market?
I don't know. I think there's still a buyer out there that'll pay.
Good.
Right. And what if it's not?
How will we know?
Well, we've been 60 days in the market. We talked, remember when you and I sit down and we talk about the properties that are well positioned in the market are still going quick.
Yes. But I heard the market's shifting. So there could be somebody who just comes out of nowhere.
Right. It is shifting. And I can show you the data here in the area that's saying every day prices decreases are increasing.
Okay, hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. I like where you're going. Denise, I'm going to you because you did it the first time you did a role play. You put it in the chat. What is the next card we have to lay? Denise.
Here are the,
You said you put it in the chat. What is what?
yeah, the motivation.
There you go. Gio, you got to go to motivation.
Okay, Whitney. So let me ask you, what were you selling in the first place 60 days ago?
I heard I could get the most for my property.
Right, and what were you going to do with the money at that time?
I was actually just gonna go travel.
Oh, that's awesome. Where were you going?
Italy.
Oh, I love Italy. I have a few friends of mine that just been to
Okay.
There,
I
and-
guess let's get beyond the Italy part, okay?
okay. Oh, okay.
You're building a
So,
rapport, which is awesome. We're just gonna make it a little shorter.
What is your timeline to be in Italy?
I don't have a timeline. I'm just looking for the most money for my house.
Right. And what if the most money for your home, you can get it now?
I think I
That's-
can.
Okay,
Mhm. Let's forget about the idea that we leased your home about 60 days ago, and then the prices are changing, they are shifting. What do you think is going to happen in 60 days from now?
good. Now, guys, she's taking her, I think, Gio, you're doing good. You're taking her to pain. Keep going.
I don't actually know.
Well, Whitney, we don't have a crystal ball, but the data is showing us that, like you said, the market is shifting, right?
Yes.
And so prices are decreasing.
Is that what a shift is?
Yeah, see, good point. You should ask her the question. You made a statement and Whitney's being a seller, right? So you're on the right track. Ask the question. So then do you think prices are falling? Whitney, do you think prices are falling?
Maybe.
Okay. Keep going, Gio. You can land this plane.
Okay. So 60 days ago, when we put your home for sale at 900,000 and we did our net sheet, you were netting 200,000, right? If you would pay your mortgage.
Yes.
So what do you think that amount is going to be in 60 days from now, if we don't get an offer?
If we don't get an offer, then no money.
I don't think,
Right.
hang on. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and I don't think she's convinced that the market is below 900,000. She wants 900. It's been on the market 60 days. And so you're going to the net sheet. I don't think she's convinced, and correct me if I'm wrong, Whit, I don't think if you're playing your role right, you're not convinced of the market. There's not a buyer out there that will pay 900 grand. Is that true?
Right. Yeah.
Then how are we going to handle that? I don't think you've hit that nail yet, Gio.
Don
Whitney,
Aldridge
you
put the question up and it's absolutely perfect, Denny.
Go ahead, John.
Don Aldridge put up, in the last 60 days, what do you think the market has said to you?
Ooh. All right, good.
That's painful. I love it.
And would not this be the good time? Let me just go back to sharing this. Would this not be a good time to go back to that? So Whitney, we met and Gio, you referenced this, was awesome. Every week you talk about this on your follow-up. What outcome are we at, Whitney?
We've had some showings, but no offers.
So would that be outcome 1 or 2?
2.
And what is the remedy for that?
Oh, maybe we need to have a conversation about price.
Okay, so are you ready to have a conversation about repositioning?
Sure.
Well, you changed your tune with me. Before you were convinced the buyer was going to pay 900.
I didn't say I'm going to agree.
She's
Well-
only going to drop it from 900 to 899, 999.
Was that a
So-
question? Sorry.
All right, so who wants to land the plane? We're right there. Who wants to land the plane? Gio, good job. You got her to that point. Now you've got the 3 outcomes. How are you going to help her see the light? Somebody take it over.
Yeah, I think just that price conversation would have sealed the deal.
All right, well then you want to seal the deal and I'm going to take over for you. Well, maybe if you just market it more, Whitney,
I totally understand. I don't think exposure is an issue based on some of our stats. I'd be happy to provide them or whatever. I show them to you or something. Honestly, I think we just need to refresh. So people are excited to see your home again.
Okay, well, how are you going to refresh it?
I think by doing a price adjustment, we would be better positioned in this market. Average days on market in your area is 30 days. We've been sitting for 60. I think your home's great. We just need to get people in it to essentially write an offer.
Yeah, well, get people in it then, will you?
All right, let's do this. 8:49.
All right, all right. All kinds of bells and whistles are going off. So
She's got her Massachusetts hat on right now, Denny.
yeah. As you know,
Sorry.
as you know, you guys, I don't believe in putting fingerprints on price, and Whitney just went ahead and grabbed that whole thing with both hands. So
Danny, wouldn't that be a good time to go into the whole, I thought Whitney was going to go there with the market stats. Hey, we've had the hits. We've had the people looking at it on the internet. We've had, 2 or 3 showings. So we've already agreed on what the market's told us for the last 60 days. What are you going to do if the market continues to tell us the same story, Whitney, over the next 60 days?
Guess I won't be going to Italy.
That's true.
where's the pain point if you have a seller? And, Whitney wants to travel. Again, it doesn't really matter what the motivation is. We can work around it. What's the pain point for a seller to be stubborn in this marketplace, you guys?
I mean, we have to, I would think we have to find out how low they're willing to go. Like if she's like, oh no, I can get 900, but the market isn't moving on it, we have to figure out what she thinks we could go to for a price.
Yeah, but
Or trending, maybe like, hey, the trends are showing that we're not going in the direction we once were.
well, the pain point, you're right, you guys. The pain point is if a seller is unrealistic today about their number, every day they're getting further away from their expectation. How can you paint that picture where the prices are falling every day instead of going up every day? Or there's more inventory coming on the market. Isn't the pain point? I understand you want 900, Whitney. We've been on the market for 60 days. We're an outcome 2. And if you look around you, have you noticed more for sale signs?
Yes.
And do you have any idea what these other homes are selling for?
No.
See, I'm asking her the questions. Well, the one down the street on 111 Oak Street, it sold for $750. A home similar to that sold for $850 3 months ago. What does that suggest to you?
My home is worth less.
So I guess my question is, you could sell it today and travel to Italy first class, or you can wait and take coach. Which do you want to do?
We'd like to go first class, Denny.
I know I'm being a little bit facetious. Anyway, any comment on that, John? Any comment or questions come in on the chat?
Can I
Let's
actually
see.
say something? And maybe you guys can tell me if this was a good idea or a bad idea. Or I can wait till the end, or I don't know, you tell me.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So this is a real life scenario. Basically, I took a listing 2 months ago. We were priced at $899. The market, okay, basically the house was full of stuff, whatever. The market's changed. 2 months later, I go back. Once they've hauled everything out, there's mold. I can't say mold, but discoloration and whatever, all kinds of things going on. And so I basically said to my client, hey, look, when we initially talked about price, we weren't aware of all these conditions. They weren't aware either. So what we did is right before we hit the market, I basically suggested a price reduction. And lucky for me, I think they didn't know what they didn't know. And she was like, what do you think? Like $699? I'm like, oh, no. Like, not that bad. But so I was like, okay, maybe like $825. We're still shooting to get 900, but the area changed. So we ended up getting multiple offers and great results. And the offer we ended up accepting was for 910, but everybody was looking at the property like, ooh, something's wrong because you were initially listed at 899 and coming soon. Then it went to 825 before ever hitting the market with the intent of still getting 900. Was that a bad idea? It ended up working out, but I'm like, that was an interesting one where I'm like, just doing the best we possibly could. But I have another situation that's kind of similar. So I'm just curious on your feedback.
Well, okay, keep the other one till the end. I guess on that, my blink is it worked out for the seller. And again, in a rational market, in the market you were in, and again, in that particular area, the market absorbed that. So a rational buyer will always pay market value regardless of how you move that price up or down or whatever. So I guess, Whitney, if I had to work with you a little bit more is I would like to have some conversations with you guys about having conversations with sellers without giving them a number. Because when you give them a number, and the danger is going to be giving them a number in a potentially.
I didn't give them the number at first.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me make this, if you guys start giving them numbers in a potentially falling market, there's probably nothing worse. There's no worse conversation you can have with a seller than to go and ask them for a price reduction or a repositioning below the number you set.
And what like Whitney said, like her seller went down below from what she was expecting from her to reduce. What to do in that regards then?
Well,
it's kind
of like going to the doctor and you've got a sore on your toe and you think, well, I think we're going to have to treat that. Oh, you want to cut the leg off? I think the doctor will say, no, I think I'm maybe just going to trim your nail a little bit. So I think the professional is going to say, no, we don't have to go down to 600. I mean, you don't want to leave money on the table, do you? What if we started a little bit higher? So I would coach them around making the wrong move. So hang on to your other objection to the end and you guys can stay around. I want to go through two quick buyer ones, John, if we can do it quick. And so here's buyer objection number one. So who wants to be the buyer's agent here? Pick the buyer's agent before I give you the objection. So John, who's the buyer going to be here? I mean, the buyer's agent.
Oh, let's see. Who's going to have some fun today?
I'll do it.
Who said that? Jeffrey.
I'm a little rusty too, Denny, but I'm here. I was here last week.
All right. Here we go.
Jeff, you did a good job last week, so you're not rusty. You're rested. Go.
All right. So here it is. Jeff, there will be better buys around the corner, so I'm in no hurry. That's the buyer. You show them a house. It's a new listing. There's better buys around the corner, so I'm in no hurry. There you go. You're the agent. I'll be the buyer to make it a little faster. Go.
Excellent. So Denny, other than waiting to see if you could get a better deal in the future, is there any other reason you wouldn't want to buy right now?
No, I just, I'm not going to be rabid about it. I'm going to, so I think if it checks all the boxes and I get a good buy on it, awesome. Other than that, I'm going to wait for the right buy.
All right. Okay. So let me ask you, Denny, what currently are you renting or do you own?
Man, I cannot believe that. That is like a half-court shot, hook shot, blindfolded, laying on the floor, nothing but net. You guys, boom. Here's something you need to take a screenshot of. I cannot believe that's the best question when you work with a buyer. That is the number one question. Just like if you're going to date, you may want to find out if they're married or not. That's one of the things they currently own or rent. Because if they're renting, they're guaranteed to lose. And so Jeff, I'm just going back to this. Great question, great job. I'm going to give you a softball. I rent.
Okay, great. So in this current market, Denny, do you expect rents to go up or down?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I hope they don't keep going up. My landlord just bumped me $500 a month.
Yeah, and that's typically what we see. I mean, rents, there's still not a lot of rentals available and rent prices go up. And at the end of the day, Is it more important for you to win? I'm off here. At the end of the day, is it more important for you to make a sound, solid, long-term decision, or are you looking just for a short-term gain?
I would think I want to make a solid long-term decision.
Okay, right. And that's right. And most of us want to. So let me ask you this, Denny, if you know, there is a little slight lull in the market right now, but historically prices in this area tend to go up 4 to 5% a year. Would you be happy 2 years from now if you bought today and it only went up 3 or 4% a year, not 5, 6, 10 like we've been seeing? Would you still be pretty happy 2 years from now?
If it went up,
If you bought a house today and it didn't go up crazy like 10, 15, but it still went up 3, 4, 5%, would you be happy?
well, I guess so. However, I believe that, you know, I've been hearing a lot, reading a lot that the market's shifting. Isn't that what you're reading to and seeing?
So, so I'm speaking strictly to our DC market. We've had a slight shift anywhere prices have slowed down, where the sellers aren't getting the big, you know, big amounts over list price. We're still selling near list when the house is priced properly to begin with. Let me ask you this. Do you remember hearing about people putting in multiple offers 20 times and not being able to win in the last year?
Yes.
So if I could show you where you could actually find a house that meets your budget, you could lock in a rate where you don't have to worry about the rent going up every year. And if 2 years from now, it turned out that you did get some equity in the house and you didn't have to worry about rent increases and you had a fixed payment, would that make sense to explore that?
Wow, that was a long question.
Yes, it was.
Can you give me I couldn't keep track of all that. Put a bow in that. Ask shorter.
Denny, if you bought today and it turned out that your house didn't go up in value at all, or just went up a little bit over the next 2 years, would you be okay with that decision, knowing that you were paying your mortgage and not someone else's?
Well, now you're assuming I'm paying a mortgage, I'm paying cash. So, okay. So there's a question that is right on the tip of your tongue.
I'm definitely calling BS on that. How many renters turn around and pay cash?
Good one.
Sorry,
Okay.
man. He's throwing you curveballs, Jeffrey, that you don't deserve.
All right.
No, that's all right. I
That's
appreciate
fair.
the curveballs.
That's fair. However, there's one question you should be asking. Let's see if it's in here.
We did the
No.
what probability rental increase.
No, what you should be asking me probably
You're not getting
first is-
equity.
The question I think you should be asking someone is how long they plan on being there. You're using 2 years.
I'm
And-
right. I'm just using an example to show. Yeah, like if you had bought 2 years ago, you'd be happy with that decision, and you wouldn't have had to worry about those $500 a year price rent increases, right? So I was trying to use the 2 years from now, the same, kind of going back to what you used to do if you bought 2 years ago.
If you're going to use the 4%, which is typically what experts will say over history, the home market, you know, kind of grows roughly 4% a year on that curve. The only way that really makes sense if you're looking at it from a long enough horizon.
Oh, got you.
So you've got to ask the question, and how long you plan on being there, Denny? And I'll say, okay, well, you know, I've been renting for 4 years, and if I buy, I mean, I don't know I'd ever want to sell. Now what you say makes sense.
Got you. So yeah, the 2 years, because depending on the market, it could actually go down in 2 years, right? So
Again, a buyer right now that has this thinking that they can wait, time is on their side. And I'm a renter, so Jeff's covered that well, is that where's the pain point, you guys, for a buyer that wants to wait?
He's already losing by paying someone else's mortgage with the rent. So
Yes.
the more he waits, the more he pays somebody else's mortgage instead of his own. And if he was in full agreement that there would be, you know, he would be okay with not getting 10 or 12% appreciation, then that's how I would have tied it up. Has been like, you're not getting any equity the way you're set up right now and you're paying someone else's mortgage. Wouldn't you like to pay your own mortgage? If we can find the right boxes to check off, then there's no reason to wait any longer for a better deal to come around.
I don't know who said that. What market are you in?
Milwaukee. Keith.
Oh,
said
okay.
that.
So yeah, so you're not going to get 10 or 12% now, are you? So number
No.
one, the pain point is paying the rent. What's the other pain point? What's the other pain point?
Interest rate.
Competition,
Interest rates could be one, yes.
competition.
What do you
You're
mean?
gonna- Denny, well, the longer we wait, the more homes come on the market, the more buyers there are going to be. Therefore, on a great house that you want to buy, you could be in a multiple bid situation and end up paying more 3 months from now because there's more people in the market.
Well, I think that could be the case. I would back off on that a little bit. If there's more homes coming on the market and I'm a buyer, I'm thinking that plays into my favor. Here's what I'm fishing for, guys, and we'll go on to the last one here really quick. Is there a possibility that the buyer is wrong? That the market won't do what they say it's going to do? So remember, I've talked about this before, but we haven't been together in a couple of weeks. I have a picture in my mind. And by you asking questions, how long are you going to be there? Why are you doing it? Blah, 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 the motivation, all that. You're getting an understanding of the picture in my mind. What we have to do as agents is help them understand the picture they're not seeing. So one of the points that Jeff is bringing up is, particularly if you're going to be talking to someone that's fighting higher interest rates, is this. Do you realize, and Jeff, you were insinuating this, which is awesome. In the market, most of us have been in for the last year. There's been multiple offers, and have we not heard of a lot of homes selling over asking price? True or not?
True.
And now there's fewer homes selling with that many bids and that high over asking price. True?
True.
So if the asking price is relatively the same and the buyer is not paying over asking price, they're paying at or close to asking price, what does that savings amount to? Are not buyers, yes, they're paying maybe a percent or two more in their monthly payment because of interest rates. Is it not possible they're actually buying the home for $10,000 to $110,000 less than they would have 30, 60, 90 days ago?
Yes.
Can you help them do that math? So if I'm paying $500 a month more because the interest rates went up, yet I'm saving $25,000 because I'm not in a multiple bid situation. John, what's 500 into 25,000?
500 into 25,000?
Yeah, 50 months, right?
50, yeah.
So
Agreed.
basically,
a
for
little
the-
over 4 years.
yes. So Jeff, you were pulling that, you were actually starting to weave that web. And I didn't let you develop it all the way. I just think it's brilliant, you guys, to understand that a buyer is winning in this market as it slows, even if prices have not gone negative yet. In many markets like Jeff's in DC, I've not been able to document prices falling here in Southwest Florida yet. I've not pulled June numbers yet, but buyers are ahead, even if they're paying more in interest rates, because they are paying less than they would have 6 months ago. I'll stop right there, and you guys add something to that if you want to. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. And I think, and then we go back to the crystal ball about where we can't predict the future, but ultimately, if you want to, I think you were talking about, do you want to win or lose? And what I was trying to formulate in my mind is you're always winning by owning a home for the long haul.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you said it. What's the long haul for the people on the call here that are new? What's the long haul? 5 years, 4 years, 10 years, 50 years? What's the long haul, Jeff?
7 to 10 years minimum, I would say, is the long haul.
Right. Gary Keller showed a graph and he uses 10 years. So if you're going to own a home 10 years, except for the bubble years, anytime in the 10-year, and pick any 10-year period except for buying in 05 or 06, which were bubble years in our market. If you own it for 10 years, you're going to be on the 4% growth curve. There's a strong possibility you're going to win. So if you guys are, here's the bottom line, I'll put a bow in it for you. If you are working with buyers that are renters, take a look at that screen right there. Take a picture of it if you want to, because the renters are guaranteed to lose. If you have, like Jeff said, a long-term hold. Now, if they're going to be popping in, they're going to be here for two years to do a job. They're building the highway. They're here 2 years. They're going to pop out. One might say renting may be a safer bet. Renters are guaranteed to lose. I've said this before. I'll say it one more time. Who would walk into a casino and there's all these slot machines and there's one with a sign over it says, this machine you're guaranteed to lose. It will never pay. Your buddy goes over and pays it. You'd have to slap him. What are you doing? Playing a machine that will never pay. So remember the power of ownership over an 8 to 10 year period. Last one really quick, and we don't have a lot of time here. Actually, we can cover it. The market has shifted to my favor. So now a buyer wants to make lowball offers because the buyer thinks the market shifted in their favor. So who has a couple of great questions? We don't have time to do a role play on this. John, what kind of questions can you come up with that you would ask this buyer right here?
How'd you come up with 15%?
Good. Great question. Who's got another question?
you
Interactive group,
do?
guys.
What will you do if the seller says no?
Okay. Okay. So what is, Jeff asked a great question to a buyer. What is the number one question you got to ask a buyer? What is the number one question?
Do you rent now
Want to
or do
make
you
an
currently
offer, or
own?
do you want to buy the house?
Yeah, find out if they're renting or owning. Because a renter here, on my last statement, you guys, I want you to get this in your brain because they're looking at, oh, I could have had 3% interest rate instead of 6. That's like the seller saying I could have got 800 instead of 750. The issue is interest rates, they do not matter because if you rent, it's 100% interest. They're guaranteed to lose if they rent. Put that on your license plate, you guys, because if you're working with buyers and they're hesitant about stepping in, you've got to understand that they're playing a game they cannot win. So
100% interest, Denny. That's the truth bomb of the day.
yeah, let that pop in. My wife says that all the time. It's 100%. And John even said it. It's 100% interest. What that means is it's like you have an interest-only loan. When do you pay down the principal? Never. That's what a rent payment is, you guys. It means there's no equity in it. So any ahas today? John, any ahas in the comments or anyone have anything to say? You know what? It was worth the hour to be with John, Denny, and Sonny.
Hey, just out of curiosity, what was the fourth question you were going to cover?
It was right here. It's like, it's my turn, so I want to offer 15% below asking price.
It's always worth coming. I love going and doing this every week. So thank you for all your time. One thing maybe next week, I'm sort of like what Whitney would do. Okay, let's go to 850, 849.9. Like I'm giving the price. So I'd love to role play, how do you really get them to not say 8999 and get them to something that's reasonable?
I provided data and all that, by the way. I didn't just hit them with a 825.
All right. Well, I mean, I can do that right now. If anyone wants to stay and have another 5-minute conversation.
Sure.
Let's do
I'm
it.
happy to have it. So Denise, I'll just go to you. So you're the seller. And so I've shown you what the past sales are in your neighborhood. We're here in the Moorings. How about that, John? No, are you in Naples? Or you're in Fort Myers?
I'm in Town and River.
Town and River, Austin. So we look at the houses in Town and River. We look at the past sales. You're on the canals. Here are the canal homes. Got 825 and we got 950 and 1.1. what's your expectation, Denise, and where you want to position your home?
Well, my next door neighbor just sold for 2 months ago.
Okay. And so what does that mean? And where do you want to position your home?
So I would like to get 1.2 as well.
Okay. So now, all right. So if we were to list your home at 1.2 today, or if I would agree to do that, well, are you ready to do business with me?
Yes.
Okay. So now that was kind of like a 1 minute role play. Do I have any DNA in that?
No. But
No,
now.
but now, Denny, we're 60 days
later.
later and the house hasn't sold.
Right.
Okay. Well, I would say, well, first of all, let's go back to the listing. And so, and Whitney, you like a lot of data. I have data. I don't use a lot of it because it doesn't do any good in predicting where the next data point is going to be. Okay. Before we go, we're going to knuckle bump Denise. We're going to list your home at 1.2. What are you going to do if the market says no? That's the question you have to ask. Then you're going to go over the 1 to 3 outcome sheets. All right. Now we've had follow-up every week or every 2 weeks. And I said, Denise, do you have your fishing sheet out? Yes or no? So I'm going to go over that every week. What outcome are we at? I'm going to ask the question, what's the remedy? And they're going to say the first time they're going to say, well, it's probably not, you're not marketing it. You're not getting anybody in to see the home. Listen, how do you get people in to see the home? You either pay them, like you pay them to go vote, or you have to have basically the right price. So you're going to show them through the metrics. What's it called, John? Your analytics on your website. You've had 85 showings in the last 3 weeks, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to show them the marketing's working. Now it's 60 days later. Denise, we're at 1.2. It's been, let's say it's 30 days. And we got the fishing sheet. What outcome? We've had 2 showings in 30 days. What outcome do you feel that is?
Yep. Outcome 1.
Now it's important that you guys ask them what outcome they feel it's at versus you telling them what outcome it is. Because they may think 2 showings is, well, we've had some showings. Some sellers said, yeah, we had 2 showings in the last year. That's probably outcome 2. Don't argue with them. Right? Don't argue with them because what's the remedy? The remedy is always the same. What is it?
Reposition.
All right. So then are you ready to reposition, Denise? We're at 1.2. We had 2 showings in 30 days. You said you wanted to get to Fort Lauderdale because you got a condo over there and you'd be closer to family. So are you ready to reposition?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So we now listen to this carefully, guys. Awesome, because we've learned 2 valuable lessons. Number 1, we know that the market does not exist at 1.2, and we've eliminated every price point from there up. You see what I just did?
Yes.
Where do you want to position it at?
Why don't we go down 10,000?
Okay. Now, all right. So I'm going to stop. Okay. So good. That's a step in the right direction. Now, what they're going to say is, okay, Denise asked me if that will be enough to make it happen.
Will 10,000 be enough to make that happen?
I don't know what I do know. 1 of 3 things will happen. Now, Whitney, do I have any DNA in that price change? They're repositioning.
No.
Did I promise them like they'd have lightning bolts coming out their ears?
Nope.
There you go. Now, in my gut, am I thinking $10,000 on a 1.2 or whatever it happened to be, $10,000 or $100,000? You think I think that's going to be enough?
Of course not.
And again, I'm not getting into a fist fight. 1 of 3 things will happen. You can say that. Well, do you think $10,000 is a lot for a $1 million buyer? And you know that there's some strategy and positioning. Now, this is what you were thinking, Whitney, is that, and so now you might want to talk about the strategy of positioning. Like, for example, people that are looking under $1 million, You know, if we happen to be positioned at the million or below, now we're going to be at the top of that price range, but the people are looking at $1 million to 1.5 and we are at the 1.1. We're competing with homes that are at 1.5. You see, that's the conversation you can start to have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that answers your question. I don't know if that helps you guys or not.
So it could be a slow process. So if the person just said, okay, 10,000, you know, it's a 1.2, we'll go down 10. You would just say fine, and 3 things could happen and go back to that, or
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say fine. I'd say I get that. Well, what do you know about that? One, it's a step in the right direction. True.
Yeah.
And historically, has $10,000 made much of a difference on a $1 million home?
no.
So I would say, well, that's a step in the right direction. However, it may not cause many heads to turn. So, however, I applaud you because you've not moved in the last 30 days or 60 days. It is a step in the right direction. What we can't do, and this is what I think maybe, I don't know if it really happened, Whitney, you went down and said, okay, let's go down to, forget what the number was you said.
Want to know what I really said? So the listing was $899. I actually said, well, I was like, okay, we need to do a price reduction. What do you think? And they were like, oh, like $699. I'm like, no, I don't think we need to go that low. But I was like, I think we definitely need to do something to get people's attention. And again, I'm not a big data person either, but I will show it to back up whatever I'm trying to say. And so basically I said $799 and I said, what's the number you guys think? I was like, if you don't like $799, what do you think? And they were like, I don't know. We want to get the most for our house. And I was like, oh, I totally get it. I don't think this will stop you from getting the most. And then they actually came up with $825 and I said, sure, let's do it. So
what do we know? And I can close, and you guys, you know, and you sold it for 9 something, right? So what did you learn about the $799 and what did you learn about the $825? What do you know for certain about that?
they both work.
No, they didn't work. You were low.
I was low. It was an investor property, and yes,
So
that was the goal.
Nothing worked. You just underpriced it.
Yes.
Okay.
To get them their desired results.
So does that help? John, I don't know if you're still there or not. I can't really tell.
Yeah.
John, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that was good. The only thing that I could say is in Whitney's case, only because I love Whitney and she's from Massachusetts, I can pick on her a little bit. By you saying what'd you say, $799?
Yeah.
Guess what? The seller can come back and say, see, you were wrong. I was right. That's the only potential way I can see throwing out a number in this case is going to backfire.
Yeah.
Yes. And you win. We have been winning because the buyers have been paying more than what we're saying. The danger, Will Robinson, is now we're going to be seeing numbers that the market won't deliver and we're going to look bad. That's even more important in a potential falling market, that you don't put numbers out there. That is probably the most important thing I've said today. Everything works in an upward moving market.
I just have one question. So this was an investor property and it had to be a cash buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Had it been a regular, conventional, or it could have got any kind of financing, it might have been different, but what do you think? Was that a bad idea?
Well, no. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's sold. You underpriced it relative to the demand. And so the seller got more than they wanted. So there you go. However, it's not like your research showed that 910 is what the market would deliver.
No, honestly, we were shooting for like even 850.
That's why I'm not a big fan of putting up prices in the market we were in, because the only thing we can be certain of is what Powerball was on Wednesday. We have no idea what Powerball is going to be on Saturday. So just be careful if the market starts to go the other way. and you put a number out there and you said, well, I've already said this. Whitney, you said we could get 850 for it. Now we're at 850 and now you want us to lower the price. You will look bad in my eyes forever.
Yeah, you'll either look like you were lying or you were guessing. Either way, you lose.
Yeah, neither one wouldn't be a professional I would hire. All right, you guys are awesome. Staying after school like that in study hall. I'm
Adult
sure you do that a
detention.
lot. Take us home, John.
All right, guys, that was awesome. Bring your questions. Do me a favor. If you guys have questions for next week, shoot them to either Denny, myself, or Sonny. You can do it through Facebook. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys next Friday, same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great week, everybody.
Hey, Denny, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks for coming back, guys.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Denny. Sonny.